Hi guys, welcome back to an episode of DB Cars, and today's episode I'll be reviewing TribeCar Mazda 3M Hybrid. Let's dive straight to this video right now. Alright then, so here is guys the Mazda 3M Hybrid from TribeCar itself. So basically I'll be running through you guys the exterior damages if there's any before I show you guys the trunk space as well as the interior itself. So let me just dive straight towards the damages if there's any. So upon first mention when I collected the car yesterday, there wasn't any obvious damage other than two minor ones, which is right here, which is basically at the front itself. So one is right here itself, which is right here. Another one will be right here itself, which is from here you can't really see anything, but if you really check it very properly, there you can check there's a scrape right there itself. So yeah, that's definitely unfortunate, but overall everything still seems okay as we move along to the side of the car and the back of the car itself. So yeah, so basically this is how it looks like. Unfortunately it's very dirty because I think most people usually do not wash the car when they rent, but some do it, but I don't. So yeah, but other than that, let me just show you guys the trunk space of the Mazda 3 right now. So basically to access the Mazda 3 trunk is somehow it's very weird when I found out yesterday, which correct me if I'm wrong, but I wasn't able to find any trunk release button in the driver's seat itself. Probably there's a button somewhere, but maybe I'm missing it somewhere in the cabin itself. But let me just show you guys the key right now. So this is how the key looks like. Very simple and elegant looking. So as you guys can see, normally for the key itself you expect the button to be right here, but for the Mazda 3 this generation itself is on the side right here itself, only on one side itself. So yeah, so basically to lock unlock is just this two button right here, and this is to access the trunk button itself. So basically to access the trunk on the Mazda 3 itself, which I already just now mentioned, is a bit weird, but you have to turn off the car in order to access the car. To access the trunk. The trunk can't be turned on and it can't be open if the car engine is running itself, which is very weird. I never seen this before itself. But let me just show you guys the trunk space right now. So basically just push on this button right here itself. Press on that and the trunk will release itself. So once trunk open, you guys can see the space that it came with itself. So yeah, I'll put the screen right here. I'll put the trunk capacity right here if anyone's wondering. So this is how much trunk space does this Mazda 3 have itself. So yeah, and that, let me just show you guys how much more space it has when the seats are folded down. So let me just pull on the lever itself, and for this side as well. So let me see whether and also unlock the car at the same time. So once the car is fully unlocked, just access the rear seat. This should be folded now, but if that is not the case, usually then you have to pull on this usually. So yeah. Okay, it's a little bit weird. Always seem to have this problem. Yeah, let me just show you that. So once sit down, you guys can see it actually opened up to slightly more space in the rear, but the seat, if you want fully down, probably have to adjust the passenger side itself. So yeah, but other than that, that's how it looks like itself. Because I think the trunk opening is definitely much bigger than. I can't remember whether the trunk opening is much bigger than this, but if not, probably similar as well. So yeah, we'll close back up. Just need to pull on it and it'll lock that up itself. Let me see if I'm able. I don't think there's an alternate option which you're able to fold down the rear seat through like a button on the left or the middle side itself for some cars itself. So yeah, let me just close the trunk and I'll show you guys the rear seat right now. So to close the trunk is very simple. Just need to pull on this lever itself or just grab any part of the car itself and close it itself. So yeah, so that's how I do it. Now let me show you guys the rear seat. Alright then, now let's jump straight into the rear seat of the Mazda 3M Hybrid. So basically this is how the rear of the car looks like. Not too bad, I would say. I would say the overall interior wise, I feel there's definitely a step up from this previous generation, because as you guys know, the interior, I think the main difference which I feel make this car more premium compared to its predecessor, the last generation, is the front cabin itself. So basically, I feel somehow the body language or the interior language of the front somehow translate to the rear itself, which make it somewhat look very premium looking itself, which is a good thing itself. So yeah, let me just show you guys how much space I get in this car itself right now. So basically, this is my driving position right here itself, and I got the seat tilted back at a slight angle, because technically I could sit it upright, but in my opinion, I don't know, something about sitting upright makes a little bit uncomfortable for me itself. So yeah, but this I got about 4 fingers of legroom wise left after adjusting according to my driving position wise. Headroom wise also not too bad. I got about a fist of headroom wise left. Not too bad, but I think I think it's about there itself. So yeah, not really the best, but still alright. So yeah. Alright, before I show you guys the middle set part right here itself, let me just show you guys what you get in the rear itself. So in the rear itself, behind the driver itself, you get some storage right there. You got your door release handle, your window switches itself, and that's probably it itself. Oh yeah, and you also got something to grab hold on to, as well as a small hook right there itself. So yeah, and that is all for the rear itself. Plus you do get additional hook right here, which is added on by the people renting this car itself. But and that is all for the rear of the car itself. One thing I feel is a little bit weird is why the passenger seat rear has this storage here, while the behind the driver doesn't, which is a little bit weird itself. But oh well, if you have more space, you can always sit right behind the passenger side, on the passenger side itself. So yeah, but let me just show you the rear right now. So in the rear, what do you get? Well, if you want to see in the rear, then I would say there's a big problem, but at the same time not small problem as well, because you got this raised transmission hump right here itself, which might get in the way for some people itself. So let me see how it does feel like to sit in the third row seat. Oh yeah, and also third row seat, it doesn't really has there's no center armrest itself. So if you want to rest your arm on, probably just at the side itself. So yeah, right now I'm sitting in center itself, and I definitely do notice there's a slight height change in it, because like if you guys know, some cars usually there's the seat itself, there's a indentation, that there's a raise in the center part compared to the left or right hand side itself. So that's definitely what I'm feeling right now in this car itself. So yeah, sitting in the rear, sitting in the center itself, if I want to sit upright, I would say I'm about a finger. I have about a finger of legroom. Not really the equal on either side, because these two seats are adjusted to according to their personal preference itself, so it might be different itself. So yeah, but you hitting center, I would say still not too bad itself. Not like some cars which is uncomfortable in the center, while it's more comfortable in the left or the right hand side itself. So yeah, but for me, I already mentioned the leg room wise. Let me just show you the headroom wise. So headroom wise, about 4 finger space. It's like maybe just a finger less from the what's that? What do you call? From the headroom wise itself. So yeah, but and the overall still not too bad for the center seating itself. It's almost the same like for all around itself. Just that for center itself, there's a slight raise in the seat itself, so hence there's a slight reduction in the headroom wise. So yeah, but other than that, let me just show you guys the front of the car right now. So let me just flip the camera around, and this is how the dashboard of the Mazda 3M hybrid looks like itself. So yeah, it's definitely very different from the last generation Mazda 3 hatchback or sedan itself. So yeah, other than that, let me just jump to the front of the car right now to show you guys things. So let's dive to that. So basically, getting out of the car itself isn't a big problem, because the doors open quite wide. But I was say, I don't know, something, maybe the getting out process isn't that hard compared to the last generation itself. So Yeah. Alright then, now let's jump to the front of the car itself, which is the driver's seat itself. So getting in the car itself also not big. Okay. So basically this is how the front of the driver's seat of the Mazda 3 looks like. So basically got this very nice screen screen right here itself. But let me just show you guys the storage space for this car by itself. So basically for storage space wise, you got three option itself. One is right here itself, right down below the air vent. This I would say not too bad because I think it's about the same size as the center one itself, which could actually fit my entire bag inside. So yeah, that's a good thing. Same for the center itself, which you guys saw already itself. So yeah. Okay, now let me just move on to this itself. So this one, right, for the center armrest itself is basically, in order to access it, you just need to pull just on this button right here itself, pull back and just raise up, and you're able to access whatever thing you want to access here itself. So yeah, if not, you also technically to just adjust the center armrest according to how you want to rest your arm on itself. So yeah. Moving on to the last storage option you have for this car is basically right here itself. So this I would say is also not too bad, not a bad spot to put your stuff if you want to, but maybe like your phone or your wallet or your keys itself. So yeah, unfortunately it doesn't really have wireless charging pad itself. If it does have wireless charging, then it will be a great thing, but unfortunately it doesn't come included with it. So that's the downside to this car itself. Moving right back, you got your two cup holders, which is a very good thing. Right behind this, you got your gear selector right here itself with the park, reverse, neutral and drive, and manual shifting itself. So next up, let me just show you guys some of the function right here itself. So basically right here itself, you got a sport mode button, which is the same thing as the last generation Mazda 3, which is just basically to toggle between sports mode and normal mode. So there isn't really any third option for eco mode or like some other mode for it, like unlike their European rivals itself. So yeah, only sports and off. So which is the same thing for the last generation Mazda 3 itself. So yeah. Moving right down back, you got your infotainment controls button right here, as well as your electronic parking brake, as well as your auto brake hold function, which is very useful in this car itself, as well as any other car that has this function itself. So yeah. Moving right to the center, you got your shortcut keys for the navigation right here itself, as well as your silver wheel to adjust the infotainment itself, which is something I think quite similar to the Mercedes, just that it is slightly below the Mercedes or the basically the European counterpart for the infotainment itself. So yeah. You got your shortcut keys for your radio itself. So basically you can just go start if you want to see the safe radio station. And you got your volume adjuster knob right here itself, which can be used as to mute, to increase, decrease or mute the volume itself, as well as to change the radio station frequency, which is to the left or to the right itself. So yeah, and that is all for the center part of the car itself. Now let's move on to the top part right here itself, which is another thing that's entirely new on this car itself, which is right down below here. You got your CD thing right here. If you want to insert a CD, you got your USB type A port, and that's probably it. Moving right up, you got your front and rear defrost, and your center part is your hazard light switch, which is very simple itself. Right on top of it, you got your AC controls. Basically, this is turn on the AC, and you got four various functions to adjust how you want the air to be blowing at you, and you got your recirculation of air in the cabin itself. On either side itself, you got your temperature control switches, as well as your fan speed control switches right here itself. So to adjust them, just need to slide the knob on either side itself. So yeah. Alright then, now let me just show you guys the center part, which is the driving zone itself. So basically the driving zone itself is very, very simple and easy to understand. On the left hand side, you got your wiper control switches. So basically to adjust the wipers, just go all the way down or all the way up, stop. If you want to watch the windscreen wiper, just need to pull back and it will just spray the fluid onto the windscreen, and you're able to, and basically you spray the fluid onto the windscreen and it'll just clean your windscreen for you itself. So yeah. On the other side, you got your indicators as well as your light controls. The indicator just up or down, light control switches just by this twisting of the knob on either side itself. So yeah, and to engage high beam, just need to push forward. Disengage it, just push backward itself. So yeah, and to flash a high beam, just need to pull this and you'll flash a high beam itself. So yeah. Alright then, now let me just show you guys some of the steering controls on this steering wheel itself. So basically on the left hand side, you just adjusting for your infotainment, which I'll show you guys later on. So basically you just got your volume control switches right here, your source for your radio or your Bluetooth audio, your voice command, and also to pick up and end the call. And this info button is for the center part of the screen right here, which I'll show you guys later on as well, which is basically just one function, which is just to cancel any messages on the screen itself. So yeah. On the other side, you got your cruise control button itself. So basically to activate cruise control, just need to press on this, then just press set, and it will start the cruise control will begin itself. Unfortunately for this car, it doesn't really have adaptive cruise control, which will slow down the car according to the vehicle in front of you. Probably that is an option, but I think they didn't really add it into the car itself. So that's the downside. So yeah. Alright then, moving on, what else do you have? Well, basically got some last few switches right here itself, which is the start button, your traction control button, and turn off the parking sensors for this car itself. So yeah, and right down below you just got additional storage space to put stuff if you want to itself. So yeah, and right down beneath it is just your trunk this button itself. So yeah, other than that, oh yeah, that's all for the switches itself. So another thing to take note is if you want to access the fuel door itself, just press on it and you'll be able to access it itself. There isn't really any switches or button to press to access the seat. So yeah. Alright then, now let's move on to the switches on the door itself. So basically on the door itself, got your lock and unlock button, your window control switches right here itself, which can be adjusted on all four sides, and this to prevent people from rolling on the windows, this to folding your mirrors, and this is to adjust the mirrors on either side by using this control pad right here itself. So yeah, other than that, that is all for the switches in this car. Lastly, now let me just show you guys some of the how to adjust the steering wheel as well as the seats. So basically to adjust the steering wheel itself, just need to find this lever right down below here, pull on that, and the steering wheel will drop and you're able to adjust it itself. Once done, just need to push back up and it will lock it in position itself. So yeah. Alright then, now let me just show you guys the seat. The seat, basically just need to slide on this, grab the hold on this lever to adjust the how far, how back you want for the seat. Right here on the side, and here is just to adjust this to adjust the height of the seat, this to adjust the angle, and I think this is to adjust the bolster. I think this, if I'm not wrong, is to adjust I'm not too sure what this is, but I definitely know on the electronic seat is basically to adjust the lumbar support for the car itself. I think that is what it is itself. So yeah. Alright then. Lastly, now you got your sun visor right here itself, which is not too bad. Also, because not too bad as you're still able to see the vehicle in front of you with just minimal visibility itself. So yeah, and also you got very nice mirror right here itself, so that's a good thing. But unfortunately this doesn't really have the light on the mirror itself or on top of the screen, this part right here of the roof itself that some car has itself. So yeah, plus is you are also able to swivel it to either side if you want to block the sun from that direction itself. So yeah, and the same for the passenger side, and that's it. So yeah, right here you got your light control switches itself. So basically to off the lights on either side, you can just, sorry, this is the turn on, turn off, and you want to turn on either side, you can just press on this itself. This is to basically if you don't want the light to be turned on when the doors are open, you can just press on that itself. So yeah, and then let me just start the car up for you guys and run through you guys on the function on the infotainment itself. So yeah, basically if you want the brake itself, and you see the start stop button illuminate, let's press on that and the car will just turn on itself. So this is how it looks like when the car is fully turned on. So let me just show you guys this part right here first. So this part you guys can see there's basically the gauge on left and right are analog and the center is digital itself. So yeah, basically to cancel out that message, just need to press on info, and you just cancel out the message and you get your digital needle itself on indicating the speed itself. So yeah, that is the only function that you can do for that screen itself. So yeah, that's the downside for this car. Alright then, now let me just show you guys that itself, which is the infotainment for this car. Basically, go back to the home screen, just press on home, and this is your home screen for the Mazda 3 itself. You're able to adjust the whatever thing you see here by even the knob itself. So yeah, alright, but other than that, that's all for the infotainment itself. If you guys want to know more about this car, wise, you can always rent this car or rent any Mazda 3 M hybrid in Get Go fleet. Sorry, rent any other Mazda 3 in TribeCar fleet to experience something like this itself. So yeah, but basically there's a lot of things you can do to adjust, like the screen right here, the screen right here, and the heads-up display. Oh yeah, and speaking about the heads-up display, this heads-up display is so much better than the previous one itself. It's much better than the Mazda 6 that I reviewed itself, which the video should be out by then already itself, and it's much better than it's way better than the Mazda 6, definitely, I can be sure. Plus it's also better than basically the heads-up display on this Mazda 3 is much better than any of the previous generation Mazda 3 heads-up display itself. So yeah, and that is probably it for this video itself. If you guys enjoyed the video itself, do click the subscribe button down right below to see more videos like this, or click subscribe and see my 2 other videos. And with that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.